Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into this video. My name is Jeremy Rubin. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I'm a fifth year biostatistics PhD student at the University of Pennsylvania. I thought it'd be fun to share a little bit about my personal background. I grew up in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and attended the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, or UMBC, for my undergraduate career, where I received dual bachelor's degrees in statistics and mathematics in spring 2020. Then I matriculated to the Penn Biostatistics program in the fall 2020 semester, and I've been here ever since. Outside of academics, I really enjoy seeking out new restaurants and coffee shops, playing badminton, and performing stand-up comedy. The last time I recorded a video like this was actually for the 2021 virtual joint statistical meetings where they had a virtual talent show. I recorded myself talking to nobody doing a stand-up set I made about finding your statistically significant other. There's probably an uncomfortable silence in the room wherever you're watching this, and I think that's exactly how the conference goers felt. I lost extremely convincingly to a really talented singer and piano player in my heat. Hopefully this video goes over better than that stand-up set. On the bright side of that competition, one of my former Calculus 3 students watched my video, commented in a live feed, and we reconnected and caught up. Anyways, by now, you've probably expected me to justify why I'm interested in the assistant teaching professor in statistics position in your Department of Statistics. My undergraduate and graduate studies reinforced to me that there's nothing more enjoyable and fulfilling to me than supporting students in statistics and related coursework. My most prominent teaching experiences really began in fall 2017 when I was a Calculus 1 teaching assistant. Throughout the remainder of my time at UMBC, I hopped around between different courses, including Calculus 1 through 3, Introduction to Proofwriting, and special topics in mathematics. Not only did showing up to my discussion sections to guide students in practice problems feel like my fun escape from whatever else is going on in my life, and sometimes dry runs of my stand-up comedy material, but I began to realize just how impactful teaching fundamental mathematical disciplines is for student growth. Nearly every student in the STEM disciplines needs to excel in part of the calculus sequence, but sadly, the preparations students are getting from secondary education can be vastly different. In introductory calculus courses, I had one student who asked if she could leave her answer as a mixed number because she didn't know how to convert it to an improper fraction, while I had another student who used real analysis level mathematical notation. In my opinion, both of these students deserve to have the resources and support to succeed and be challenged so that they can develop the fundamental quantitative reasoning abilities to excel in whatever careers they pursue. These early experiences as a teaching assistant, coupled with later experiences in teaching and pedagogy, inspired me to pursue a role in which I can have direct student teaching and mentoring in statistics so that I can help students develop the fundamental quantitative abilities to flourish in whatever careers they pursue. Going back to that statistically significant other piece, I feel so fortunate to be able to say that my statistically significant other is Haley, and she recently relocated to Bellevue for work, where she'll be for the foreseeable future. As of now, we have only been able to be statistically significant in a long distance way, perhaps two significant loci really far away on the gene. I don't specialize in statistical genomics, but it felt like a nice analogy. So it would be really special to not only be able to support statistics students in a classroom setting, but also have my statistically significant other right by my side when doing so. Now I'm going to pivot to talking about my research interests. It is at this point in a stand-up set that I may say something like, you can tell I'm great at making transitions and try to get a laugh. Hopefully that got a laugh. My dissertation research under the direction of Dr. RCZ has focused on developing new statistical tools to better predict kidney function using imaging features from kidney biopsy scans. My first two dissertation papers focus on analyzing the imaging features of kidney tubules, which are small, specialized structures within the kidney that help filter waste and reabsorb essential substances. Every subject has one image of kidney tubules, and we compute a bunch of features like areas and diameters for each tubule, giving each subject a matrix of values, where each row is a tubule and each column is an imaging feature. Subjects can have different numbers of tubules or rows of their feature matrix because a kidney biopsy scan produces a random assortment of tubules, but we measure the same imaging features for every tubule for every subject, so the column dimensions across the feature matrices are the same. For my first two dissertation projects, I developed two new scalar matrix regression methods to predict estimated glomerular filtration rates, or EGFRs, a scalar measure of kidney function, using these unbalanced imaging feature matrices. The first method I call the clustering structured lasso, or CLUSO, assumes the imaging features are independent, and the second method, which I call random Clouseau, is designed to handle correlated imaging features. My third dissertation project, for which I've made some progress, but admittedly is less complete than the other two projects, is focused on developing a new method for constructing prediction intervals of EGFRs using imaging features from kidney biopsy scans. And we call this method conformal prediction with generated regressors, or CONGRESS. Thank you to Sarah, my PhD cohort, to have the vision for this acronym. This method uses a technique called conformal prediction to help ensure that our prediction intervals will be distribution-free, valid for small samples, and have a marginal coverage guarantee such that over many samples, these prediction intervals will cover the true EGFRs with a fixed probability. My simulations as of the past few days seem to indicate that Congress has better coverage than a naive approach, but keep in touch with me for more updates about this project. For my master's thesis, I developed a new statistical method that I call ridge regression for functional form identification of continuous predictors, or RIPPER. For this method, I regress a patient-reported outcome on many functional forms of continuous predictors in a high-dimensional setting so that we can better understand the functional relationships between continuous biomarkers and patient-reported outcomes. I've also been the primary statistical analyst for multiple clinician-driven projects, including using machine learning to predict kidney transplant outcomes and identifying imaging biomarkers of stroke. Now I want to talk a little bit about where my teaching and research fit in the scope of your department. Looking across faculty profiles, there is quite a large breadth of research areas and topics covered in the coursework they've taught. From my manual visual assessment, as we say in imaging diagnostics, some of the more prominent research areas in your department include graphical models and network analysis, computational statistics applied to the social sciences, causal inference, and machine learning. In terms of teaching, I observed that a larger number of faculty seem to teach coursework in statistical inference, applied regression, stochastic modeling, and statistical machine learning. I think much of my research can fall under the machine learning umbrella, as my statistical methods development at Penn has focused on developing novel high-dimensional regression methods. I really appreciated this high-dimensional regression space, so I think these types of methods offer a nice balance of some more transparency in model interpretation while still having the ability to handle complex data, whereas some more black box machine learning models may have more difficult interpretations. So, like a number of your colleagues, I would also consider myself to have a machine learning focus in my research, but on the lighter side, perhaps, of black box models, leaning towards models that are more explainable. I'm also motivated to develop these methods by problems arising in the biomedical sciences, whereas I believe there may be a greater emphasis among some faculty in your department to be motivated by problems in the social sciences. My interest in biomedical imaging, I believe, would be a more unique fit in your department, especially as most statistics research and biomedical imaging have centered around neuroimaging from what I have observed during my time as a graduate student attending different conferences. My dissertation has focused on kidney pathology imaging, and I would be excited about the prospect of expanding my collaborations to encompass other types of biomedical imaging. On the axis of teaching, I would consider my teaching background experience to be quite different than that of many of your colleagues. My teaching origins were as a teaching assistant for undergraduate introductory math courses, ranging from Calculus 1 through 3, Introduction to Proofwriting, and special topics in mathematics. I've also been a teaching assistant for several graduate-level introductory statistics courses, one for primarily clinicians in the Penn Masters of Science and Health Policy Research, and one for Penn Non-Biostatistics Biomedical Graduate Studies students. Therefore, most of my teaching experience has not been geared towards advanced statistics undergraduates or early statistics graduate students, but rather undergraduates across a vast spectrum of majors, which required some fundamental math courses, and practitioners of statistics in the life sciences. I think courses such as those in the probability mathematical statistics sequence for undergraduate statistics majors could be a great fit for me, given my experience as a TA for undergraduate math courses and my graduate training in biostatistics. However, I would also welcome courses in more introductory probability, statistical methods, and statistical software, as I think that my background in working with a wide variety of undergraduates could be a great fit for these courses. Speaking of courses, there's another great transition. There are a few major pillars of my teaching philosophy. First, I believe all students in my courses deserve the support to succeed and have supplementary opportunities to be intellectually challenged, irrespective of their backgrounds. Second, I will structure my courses in a way that fosters student self-efficacy. Third, I want my instruction to reflect my acknowledgement that I view my students as much more than just problem solvers and am invested in their personal well-being beyond academic performance. Supporting students with different academic preparations and goals, as I noted earlier, is one of my driving factors for pursuing this opportunity to be an education-focused statistic faculty member. I aim to create course material that provides enough background preparatory content such that even if they were unable to receive this information in their prior coursework, they can be equipped to handle any course assignments. Also, through the use of more frequent and smaller assignments, for which I give specific and punctual feedback, I will foster student self-efficacy such that students feel confident in their abilities to succeed regardless of their prior background. Further, through group problem-solving activities during lecture, I will have students become more comfortable learning from each other and increase their support network. Additionally, I intend to use publicly available datasets, programming languages which are open source and freely accessible, and I will distill the required mathematical content to include only the essential abstract mathematical concepts. To provide intellectual growth for students who have mastered the course content, I would create bonus challenge questions on homework, exams, and projects that could only provide a minor amount of extra credit for completing them correctly and would not punish students who needed more time to master the course content. For any prospective course, I aim to instruct in a way that is accessible, lighthearted, and intellectually challenging to students from all backgrounds, so that my students have the quantitative reasoning abilities to tackle real-world problems in whatever disciplines they pursue. Thanks very much for listening, and hope you have a great rest of your day.